Everybody, it's great to be with you. My name is Michael McDowell, and I'm so excited to share with you a little bit about rigorous teaching and learning. I've been on a 2-decade journey to learn about rigorous teaching and learning and trying to figure out how do we make sure that this happens for every student in every classroom around the world. And what I have found is incredibly exciting, and I wanted to share a few of those ideas with you in this short video. So first, we need to redefine this thing. We need to redefine rigor. Rigorous teaching and learning is taxonomical. It's not hierarchical. We don't reference Bloom as Bloom's hierarchy. We call it Bloom's taxonomy. We don't learn or process information through a hierarchy, one level, then another. Learning is so much more dynamic, and it requires students to be able to move across these different categories of learning rather than going up and down levels of learning. That's just not how learning works. Rigorous learning is about developing knowledge and skills across different types of learning. There's 3 types of learning I want to talk to you about today: surface, deep, and transfer. So surface is knowing things. Like, I know what a food chain is, or I know what a food web is. Deep learning is about relating those ideas. So I understand how energy moves within an ecosystem. And transfer learning is applying those ideas or skills to different contexts, like an invasive species, or we're reintroducing an animal into an ecosystem. All 3 types of learning are equally important. We need to know things, relate things, and apply things. And we could start or end at any of those levels. We could start with giving students a challenge with an invasive species in one of their local ecosystems, and then go back and learn surface or deep. This tells us that rigor is much more fluid and dynamic. And it also tells us that we need to value these different types. So as such, rigorous learning is best defined as the equal intensity and integration of knowing things, relating things, and applying things. Or it's the equal intensity and integration of surface, deep, and transfer learning. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that we need to think of rigorous teaching and learning as something that is about small, doable practices. That when we approach rigorous teaching and learning around habit science, great things happen, which means we need to appreciate the idea of going slow to go fast. That enables us to build efficacy and slowly and steadily enhance student learning. In order to do that, we need to narrow down to a few habits, and that's number 3. Over the past few years, I've worked with schools around the world. I've worked with academics. I've investigated research to consolidate rigorous teaching and learning into 10 rigor redefined habits. These habits center on building surface, deep, and transfer learning, as well as these dispositional habits that help our students develop ownership over their own learning. Finally, rigorous learning requires great leadership. Leadership is oxygen. They need leaders who appreciate and respect the human element of change management. They appreciate that it's about small, doable habits, that we need to go slow to go far, and that we need to be able to redefine this idea of rigor, that it's not about levels, but about types of learning, and that we need the equal intensity and integration of both. Over the past 2 decades, I've worked as a teacher, a researcher, principal, and superintendent. And over the past few years, have expanded my work on rigorous teaching and learning through writing and consulting. And what I have witnessed has been inspirational. I'm looking forward to hearing from you and to the future of this particular work as we engage in rigorous teaching and learning together. Thanks, everybody.